In 3, 2, 1.
Welcome to the world of tomorrow.
I'm never going to be able to do my intro like normal ever again. I got a good 3 episodes out of it. Hello, and welcome to Kickin' Crocs, the podcast. We talk about martial arts stuff, geeky stuff, and all sorts of stuff, and Dave likes to interrupt my intros. My name is Steve, one half of Kickin' Crocs.
My name is Dave, the other half of Kickin' Crocs.
My name is Nick, the shadow portion of Kicking with Crocs.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, he worked in the shadow from last time.
There you go. Last time you said,
seedy
I'm
underbelly.
the 0.1% of Kickin' Crocs. And I was like, didn't he say he wasn't going to say that for his intro?
No, he's the shadow. He's the seedy underbelly of the Crocs.
No, I am
seedy
the
I am the muscle behind the hustle.
look, he's got the vest, he's got the hat. He's going to break your thumb if you don't buy some Crocs.
He looks like a good old-fashioned Italian.
Hey, yo, I
gangster.
told you to buy some Crocs.
I told you to buy some Crocs. So, yes, so if you get a visit from our resident hitman, Nicola Migliaccio.
I am being targeted as a TV Italian.
There you go. Yep. So
Listen,
we're stereotyping hard right now.
And I want some submissions, pictures of, because
I'm super okay with it.
I'm seeing all these kids walking to school with Crocs. I'm like, yo, submit some pictures.
No,
and
that's
like,
what I've been saying to kids
and
too.
they're like, well, can't you just take it from me here? Come on, man. I got class to teach. I got things to do. You all have phones. You all have cameras.
Yep.
You have phones that are cameras. Take those pictures. Send them in.
Yeah, that's what we have all the kids doing.
In.
Send them in. It doesn't have to be in the karate school. You can literally do it at your house. Like, find something cool. You know what I mean?
Yeah, go outside. Throw it in front of scenery.
Yeah,
just
make
come
it
on,
cool.
let's go.
Mm-hmm.
And
Do
all you
something
have to
fun
do,
with it.
listen, all you have to do is email us.
All you have to do is believe in yourself.
Yes.
For those of you that are more adventurous,
And-
have like a friend throw a ball, and you can try kick it or something.
Yeah.
Or pro tip
Yeah.
too, if you're like you're having trouble just getting the kick with the camera and just film
Take a video
of you throwing a kick. We'll handle the rest.
Take a video of it, send it to us. We pull the still from it of you holding the kick out there. That way, you don't feel like you have to hold your kick out there, because we don't do that. We're not that
Not
good.
often, no.
We're not that good. Anyways, this is definitely not the rant about how few submissions we've been getting and how we're starting to feel, a little frustrated that our big idea is not working out.
Submit the pictures.
I'm fine with it. But it'd be nice if you sent me pictures. It'd be awesome.
That's okay. We're gonna up our.
Nick is just saying that so he can stop hearing us complain about it so much.
We're gonna up
Bingo
our picture
was his
output,
name
though.
out.
Yeah, we will.
We'll up our picture out. We get tired of seeing us, and they'll be like, we have to submit because I'm tired of seeing them and their kicks.
Yeah, like I totally don't want it to be all about us, but I'm gonna make it all about us if you guys don't start submitting photos and videos. I'm gonna make it all about us. Is that what you want?
More of us. More.
Is that what you want? You want more of us? Is that all that is? Or do you want it to be about you too? You can be a part of Kicking and Crocs. You can be a 0.1%. Not like Nick.
Was he giving stuff away?
I know, right?
No,
It's
just be on
no.
internet and have nice pictures.
Did we talk about the fact that I bought stock in Crocs? Did we talk about that?
No, we didn't
not
talk
on
about that on
air.
podcast yet.
Oh yeah.
Wait, no, we did. I think we did.
I think we
mentioned
talked
it
about last week.
podcast.
I owe one share of Crocs. I own.
He
Oh,
owns
we did.
one
I am an
share of
owner now.
Crocs. So how much
Have
money?
you attended a shareholders meeting yet?
I am an owner now. I might fly out for that. I think they're in Colorado. Maybe
I
I'll
think
fly
it's
out for a
worth the
meeting.
trip.
We'll see.
And there's some interesting stuff in Colorado.
Oh,
I'm
Colorado's beautiful.
part owner now. What can I say?
You should
It's
fly
a
out
publicly
for some of
traded
the
company.
big
I have a
decisions.
share. I am a part owner. I have
Let's make it
stake
out
in the
there.
game.
Have you yet to make any large amounts of money off of this share?
No.
Well,
It's one day at a time, Steve. Okay,
it is one day at a
This is
time.
not a
Take
get
it
rich
one day
quick
at a
Very
scheme.
true.
Okay,
time.
this is
No.
the long-term plan.
Yes, yes, indeed.
Oh,
Check
yeah.
back with us in 5 years. See where we're at. That we'll own 51% of Crocs. Imagine.
Oh man!
If we
I
owned
just-
51%,
If we get the
Majority
controlling
share.
share,
we get the controlling share. We're the majority owner.
And we use all of that power to make a gibbet that says guest.
Yeah. So we were just talking about this earlier before we started the podcast that we want to have like gibbets for any of the guests that comes on the podcast, and we want the just the gibbet to be the word guest. That's
Right.
it. Just
Yeah,
guest.
just guessed.
Just
So you
guessed.
put it right in there. And
Mm-hmm.
We
guess.
don't
Just
ask for
guest.
much. We keep
No,
it
we don't ask.
simple.
We don't ask for much at all. We're very, we're
I'm
easy
gonna
to
find
please.
one. I'm gonna. It's gonna be my mission in life
You can just make custom
for
text.
the next week.
It's out there, and if not, we're gonna put it out there.
Oh yeah.
It
Yes.
will be there.
We will.
It
Make
will
happen.
become
We
a
have
reality soon enough.
We have plans.
Indeed.
Like it. So tonight, you guys did watch some fights.
There
Yeah,
was
there was
some UFC
there was
fights
some
on,
free
yeah.
UFC fights on tonight.
Yeah. Two good ones that we watched.
Yeah, so we watched the whole card, Steve and I. But there was only,
Nick was
I
at
mean,
his
there was
in-laws.
some good fights, but there was really just the main events that we wanted to we were excited for, which was Holly Holm and
yes.
oh God, I forget her first name. Santos was her last name. Anna, thank you.
It was either Anya or Anna. It was one of those.
They used to be training partners like way back in the day, so they kind of knew each other. But then they've been training separate, which means obviously your games change a little bit.
Yeah. To those of you guys who don't know who Holly Holm is an incredible kickboxer, a phenomenal striker in the UFC. Oh no! So you guys
Never
didn't hear
happened.
that bang? Dave just knocked down.
No, we didn't.
His
Nothing
Kickin' and Crocs cup.
happened.
Nothing happened.
There was a
Continue to
Kickin' and
talk.
Crocs
No,
cup up there on the bench. He knocked it down.
It's there currently.
It is-
So,
it is
so
back
we were
up.
talking about Holly Holm fame.
Anyways,
Yes.
so Holly Holm is a wonderful kickboxer in the UFC that could definitely knock down that Kickin' and Crocs cup if she wanted to.
Oh yeah.
I think it's
but
always
if-
interesting when fighters fight people that they already train with.
It's true.
Like, we went to go see a friend of ours fight live years ago, Anthony Montanaro, great fight. The guy he was fighting at the time, though, was a friend of his that he used to train with at the time. So he wasn't too excited about the fight because you don't want to injure a friend.
What's ironic
But did a
about
great
that
job.
is I was not going to watch a friend. He's not a friend of mine as far as he wouldn't know me if he saw me.
Yeah.
Not that he's probably a very nice guy.
Nice guy.
He's somehow related to you.
No, it's my good friend Pete, who was actually at my wedding. It's his cousin. That's how we got into the mix.
So it's his friend's cousin.
So yes. So we went to the fights, and lo and behold, one of his main striking coaches is my friend Carl.
Hey,
That was too funny.
So I'm like, Carl's like, what are you doing here? And I'm like,
I'm here to
I'm
watch
watching
some guy.
this guy. And he's like, oh, that's my guy. I was like,
Hey!
oh, all right, that's your
So
guy.
what you're saying is that guy's going to be really good because Carl's
He was
a
really
phenomenal
good.
coach.
He's very good.
It was one of his last fights before. Then now he's gotten married to a lovely wife. They have, he's been out of the fighting game for a little bit. Now I think you said that you saw recently he's training at least training.
Oh
again.
yeah, he was hitting some pads the
Yeah.
other day on the Instagrams. I saw him at
Oh,
Carl's
nice.
place hitting some pads.
Nice,
So-
nice.
But he had a good record.
Again,
He
I don't follow him, but I'm friends with Carl. And
Yep.
I recognize him right off the bat.
But I
so-
remember talking to him afterwards, and he had mentioned that it was a bittersweet victory because first, it was a jaw strike, took him down. The guy stood up and then fell down again. Like you can tell, he thought he was in it. He wasn't. He was
Could
out.
tell he was,
And he
out of
said
it.
like we used to train together, and I kind of knew my level. And I was like, "Are you sure you want to do this?" He goes, "Yes." I was like, "Okay, we're gonna fight. That's what fighters do. We fight."
Yeah.
But they knew each other, pretty well. So tough.
Yeah.
I mean,
It's always the worst, even when you're training and you hurt somebody that you're partnered with. and
Yep.
You're like, oh, I'm
I
sorry.
didn't mean to do that.
And you just feel bad for a while.
Carl was really good himself. Like we went to a boxing seminar,
Yeah.
just strictly boxing, with Carl. Taught us some awesome stuff. That was like probably one of the first striking seminars that I went to where I was like, oh, there's a lot more to this game than what I've learned so far. There's a lot more involved.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
he's regional, I want to say. Regional kickboxing champ, like welterweight, I want to say. I can fact check it, I can look it up, but he's phenomenal fighter. So yeah, there's guys out there. They're
It
good.
hits like a truck, apparently.
There's guys out there. They're good. They're good. But so back to Holly Holm.
Yeah, that's wait. We just went off.
'Cause we
complete
we
Well, we're
digressed.
just
separate
talking
road.
about the
Right.
friends.
Veered
fighting
off.
each
Yeah,
other.
we veered off the
Um,
track. Anyways, Holly Holm. So if you've not heard of Holly Holm, I'm sure that you would have at least heard mention of Ronda Rousey and how dominant of a UFC Women's Champion that she was, and how she had an undefeated streak in the UFC. It was Holly Holm that ended Ronda Rousey's undefeated
Oh, yeah.
streak. Holly Holm was the first person to beat Ronda
Ended
Rousey
it hard.
in the UFC, and so that was kind of like Holly Holm's first jump to fame.
What
It
I like
jump
about-
started her career.
What I like about
crazy.
Holly too is she was a professional boxer.
Yeah.
She's a very good professional boxer. But when you watch her fight now, yeah, obviously she's still got very good hands. But she does a lot of kicks, and she's got
Side
some good
kicks,
kicks.
crescent
What was
kicks.
exciting about that entire fight was the build-up was so
Oh, for the Rousey
Ronda
one.
focused.
Yes,
Ronda
yeah.
versus Holly?
And
Yeah.
very few commentators were talking, unless you really
Well, she
listen.
took.
We're talking about Holly's extremely heavy background and success as a stand-up fighter.
Right. And what people missed too was, I mean, that was early on in her MMA career that's why people were underestimated, because it's like, well, she's coming
she's
from,
a new fighter.
She was a boxer, and then she became a kickboxer, and then she went into MMA, and she had very few MMA fights before that title fight. She had like 3, I think.
Not to
And
mention,
in many people's opinions, and strictly opinions, right? Because we're not there
Right.
with the fighting camp. We don't know what's really going on. But it's, Ronda came in, and it seemed like her approach was, I'm going to beat you at your own game. And then by the time she figured out, yikes, this is a bad idea, Holly had already scoped her takedown attempts.
But yes,
So it was a challenging call, again, because we're from the outside
again. But
in.
what also
She was doing so
what
well at
also
the
has been
time.
happening too, which is at that time, Ronda was the first like women's MMA was around.
No, but she was a
Ronda put it
superstar.
on the map, and she was Olympic judo, like
Yep.
high level. So for a while she was ahead of everybody, and then what always happens when there's a great champion, it steps everybody game up.
Yep.
So what women's MMA started to catch up, and then when the game caught up to her level, that's when things started to go sour. But that always happens whenever you have a great champion. The crop underneath them starts to rise
To
up
meet them
to
yeah,
their
still-
level,
Yep, to get up to their
and
level.
then that's what happens. That's why the game keeps.
I
getting
feel like that's
better
the
and better.
modern UFC story anyway.
Yeah.
I mean, if you go back to
It
what
is.
UFC
It is
was
the
to now,
only
it's like, wow.
sport that is unrecognizable from its origins.
Mhm.
Like if you look at it now compared to what it was, it is completely unrecognizable. It is
Even
a
when-
whole different thing.
Even now, I know you're comparing it to when the official UFC title was used, but even if you go to when they legitimized the rules, the level and caliber of fighter.
No,
has
that's what I'm talking
drastically-
about. The
Yeah.
just the training modalities, the way
Yeah.
people handle it. Like there's very few specialists left in MMA.
Yeah.
Everybody is well rounded.
Everybody's got
You
a little bit of
can't
something.
survive as a specialist anymore. You have things that you lean towards, but there's very few specialists left, unless you count some of the Dagestani wrestlers. But even then,
They can
they're
strike.
not incompetent on their feet.
Nope.
No, definitely
So
not.
And it's a cool level of respect coming in from the fighters. Like you have the street brawler and who came in a while back, Kimbo Slice,
Mhm.
right? Who quickly said like, I need to figure out a ground game.
oh yeah,
And did, and that's a great respect to
So,
the fact that I can't survive on just one thing.
what
here.
was good about this
Be
one
well.
too, this fight, Holly had to wrestle.
Yeah, I found that really interesting. Like here we are talking about what an awesome striker she is, and in this fight, so Santos came out and was really
Guns blazing.
aggressive, guns blazing, was really aggressive, moved just like straight forward into Holly, and you could tell that Holly was kind of like, whoa, he's taking it back in a second, and Santos was driving her back into the cage and kind of like holding her
It
against
was
the
all
cage.
clinch work.
It was all a lot of clinch work. And so then after about half of round one, you saw sort of like a switch flip where Holly was like, I got you now. And then she started pretty much beating Santos at her own strategy. Like she started to
Yeah.
outwork her in the clinch, and then she started taking her down.
And once she got the takedown, she had much stronger positioning.
Yep.
And it was just
That was it. That was
she
the
didn't
whole
even
fight.
go for any really submissions. She just maintained solid position. She was striking. We
Mhm.
were getting a kick because she was doing a lot of like
The shoulder,
shoulder. She was
smashes.
dropping
So
her
she
shoulder
was
into
she
her
was
face.
laying it across her in side mount. She had her one arm underneath Santos's head, so her head is like right here between her arm and her shoulder, and she was going boom.
the old
Boom.
Connor
Boom.
to cowboy shoulder to the face?
Except
Yeah,
on-
but this is
except
on the ground,
instead
so
of
she had
standing up.
nowhere to go. It's
Yeah.
not like she could reel back. She was on the ground. Boom.
So I unfortunately I missed this fight. What were like? Was she single legging? Was she doing like a leg?
No,
trip?
no.
She was clinching.
There was clinching.
She was clinching her, like getting those underhooks, driving her
And
back, and
just-
then using her legs to kind of like
she
wrap
was
her
more
up
like
and
a
trip her.
trip and a
Modified
double
Kawajiri
underhook.
Trip,
kind of scenario.
slammed. It was a lot of
Yeah.
slamming her to the
Yeah,
ground.
she actually picked her up and slammed her down at one
Mhm.
point, like completely just hoisted her in the sky and
Yep.
dropped
Yeah,
her.
I just saying to Dave,
She's
I was like,
definitely
ooh.
tough.
So you
Love
can
it.
kind of tell that there's a bit of a strength edge to Holly here, and that's definitely
Yeah.
that definitely showed. And she
It's
used it.
I
to-
just like I'm always interested in grappling in that scenario where there's striking, where there's no gi, where so you get a better idea of like, okay, what would happen if this was real?
yeah. How would it kind of look if it was
Well,
a
we
real
even-
street fight?
We even had that conversation today, right? Where we were comparing some no gi activity.
Oh, when we were training, yeah.
And right, the no gi is as close
I
to real as you're gonna
get
get.
the
in some
arguments for
situations.
both. I understand you get more technical when you wear the gi. You absolutely get more technical. You absolutely
There's a lot more you have to worry
learn
about.
positioning much better. But I've always favored no gi. I just like it better.
Well, in application,
But that's just me.
In like outside of the ring and competition application, gi is just gonna be so challenging because regular clothing just won't
Right.
last the test
Well,
of time.
our buddy Mike wears that we train. He has a shirt that says "No gi for life," but now he trains a lot in the gi. And he's a brown belt now, and he's like, I kind of see the point of the gi. I get it. I'm like, all right. I don't know. I'm just like the no gi. Just how I live.
I think I have to practice a little bit more no gi because I do mostly gi, even though we don't use the gi for too many handles. I need to practice it.
The first time that I wrestled no-gi, I was like, oh, this is weird.
I like it.
But now I'm like, oh, this is so much better when I don't have to worry about somebody grabbing hold of both of my collars and twisting them in a knot.
I guess because I'm always a little guy too, and like I feel like my motion gets controlled a lot more
when you have a
when
gi to
somebody
grab onto.
can hold me with the gi.
Yep.
So I don't
me
like
too.
that. I don't like
Me
that.
too.
But again, I'm not a pure jujitsu guy at all.
No,
Because we don't really
not
do
at all.
jujitsu in that sense. So yeah,
We do a
So
little
the fight
bit
ended
though.
in decision, but it was
it
without a
was
doubt.
a
Absolute
complete
dominant decision.
domination. Like there was no chance, no chance.
There was no surprise split decision.
No, she
Nope.
she made she was basically she spent the last 2 rounds transitioning from side mount to mount,
Smash.
dropping elbows,
Boom.
dropping shoulders.
Boom.
Mm.
A
Elbows,
few times
yep.
she got a crucifix, where you trap
Yeah.
the arm and she was hitting, and then Santos was able to get her arm free briefly, so she didn't, the ref didn't have to step in, but
No.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
And
a
then
wonderful, the good win for Holly Holm, much needed.
The last fight, I did finally make it.
Chito
see that
Vera.
one.
and Corey
Chito
Sandhagen.
Vera versus
What
Corey
a great
Sandhagen.
fight. What a great fight across the board.
That was a war.
Yeah, both guys came in. They scouted each other pretty well. And you guys have more history on Vera, obviously, but
I've watched them both a lot.
yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, Chito Vera, Marlon Vera, Chito's the nickname. He is always a slow starter. So he's, again, starts slow. And then Corey Sandhagen is just such a fascinating striker.
Mhm.
Because he's so sophisticated but unorthodox, but like technical. He's technical but unorthodox.
It was really watching him strike on. It was interesting watching him strike on almost every movement. Every lateral movement included
Yeah.
a strike. There was no real clean dodge, duck, or movement that
No.
didn't have a strike at the same
Dip,
time.
dive, duck, dodge.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Just a couple of wrenches.
If you could
Training.
dodge a punch, you could dodge a ball.
Yeah. No, it was a good fight. I enjoyed it the entire time. There was never like a lull or a dull moment during it.
No, and Chito's one of those guys that
an
could take
edge of
a
your seat the whole
punch,
time.
man.
Yeah, he could take a punch. He took a flying knee to the head. Like Corey Sandhagen, one of his favorite moves is this jumping knee right to his face, and Chito took
good
like
knee.
2-3 of them right on it, like
Sticks his tongue
boom,
out,
right on
shakes
his
head,
face.
he's like, "Let's go." We're
Yeah,
ready.
exactly. So I think after that, Corey probably realized, okay, I'm not knocking this guy down, so I'm just going to go for volume and just try to smother him in strikes. But Vera was keeping up. He was throwing some good shots himself.
and but towards the 4th and 5th round,
That was
lightning outside.
Was that
There's
lightning?
Yeah.
outside happening.
towards
folks.
the 4th and 5th round.
About to podcast during a thunderstorm. I
Either
love
that
it.
or you're just having a photo shoot. outside
Yeah,
that we're
seriously.
missing.
I thought I got a text message since my flash goes off and I have a text message.
No, that was definitely outside
But
the
it was
window.
definitely
Yeah,
outside.
without a doubt.
Anyways,
There's
Yep,
the
there's the
thunder. Ooh, spooky.
Jersey weather.
So Corey what was I saying? No, Corey
Corey
Sandhagen.
Sandhagen.
No, Chito Vera. That's what I was saying.
There you
Towards the 4th and 5th round, started to put together some good combinations and.
A little too late though, because
too late.
Corey got the first 3 rounds.
Yeah.
And Vera didn't really have that big flurry until the last 10 seconds. Like he needed that energy
Oh yeah.
a couple more times in the fight. Like he didn't
Yeah.
really have any real heavy attack attempt, in my opinion. Like he
No.
had good combos, but he didn't have that like I want to try to take you down attempt until
That's
the last
true.
10 seconds. I would
Yeah.
like to see it a couple other attempts.
Corey
even if they
actually
failed.
was able to take him down. a couple of times in
Yeah,
the first
he did
couple rounds.
get a couple of takedowns.
He got a couple of takedowns. It seemed that his original strategy was take Vera down and keep him down.
Oh yeah.
Because we kind of seen Vera like on the ground a couple of times, but he's once again he's known as a striker. There's a lot of people known as strikers in the UFC today.
That becomes the constant conversation though. Is like the casuals, as they're called, quote unquote, people that they're not watching on the regular, which is probably most of you guys listening to us.
Yay! Hopefully, we get you guys a little bit more as fight fans, though. That'd be very cool.
They tend to boo a lot with the groundwork. And, the announcers do their best to kind of explain what's going on, but you don't hear them
when you're at the fight.
You're just watching the fight. Unless some people will bring AirPods or something to kind of tune in.
And I've talked about that. It's so funny, that topic. I've talked about that for a while in many games. If there's any way to somehow pump in the announcers to the building where it isn't completely obnoxious, but a way to do it, right? Because that commentating actually does add a significant amount of value.
Well, if you have zero understanding of what's actually the battles that are going on the ground, and oftentimes, unless you've grappled, you have no idea the battle that's going on. You have no idea how exhausting it is. You don't understand the strategy that's going on. And the announcers do their best to kind of guide you through it. Oh, this is what he should be doing. Oh, no, he shouldn't be turning this way. Just common things that if you participate, you might know. But if you're just a fan watching, you may not.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think we were recently talking about this, right? Even simple things, even from stand-up. Like, why is he putting his hands down? Have you ever tried to keep your hands up for 5 minutes straight and never drop them at all?
Have you ever tried keeping your hands up after doing 3 rounds of 5 minutes?
Oh, forget it.
Yeah,
exactly.
I don't know.
You see these guys step back a little, and they go
just
from
to
here
let their
to
arms
here.
fall for a second.
Without someone punching you or grappling you, just hold your hands up for 5 minutes and write us a comment.
It's always that's always the interesting thing because people use that as like, oh, he's got to keep his hands up. Oh, he's got to keep his hands up. You're like, right. Yeah. No, I understand. He's got to keep his hands up, but. Some people use that as they throw their jabs from different angles. Like when I spar, my hands are moving. They change different angles. It's hard to just keep your hands up the whole time and not move.
And the better the fighting level, the more loopholes in your defense game they're going to find. Yeah. You can't just sit there and, my hands are here, I should be good. That's not going to work.
Well, that's always the thing, I find interesting with martial arts in general is... It's always a game plan and a blueprint. Like when I teach self-defense or when I teach those things, right? Especially if I'm teaching like adults, teens and adults, I'll let them know like this is the move as it is written. You defend this way, you do this. So is it going to go exactly like that in a real life situation?
Probably not.
Probably not. This is a game plan. You have a game plan. You have an idea of how to move. It gives you ideas on what you should be doing.
Well, to that point, during this Corey Sandhagen versus Vera fight, Vera read the fact that Corey was trying to take him down, and by the third round, he was
made the adjustments.
He was stuffing all of Corey's takedowns. He wasn't able to get him down again.
Right.
So Corey Sandhagen had to make an adjustment there on the fly, mid-fight.
Absolutely.
Because sometimes your strategy
that is crazy difficult.
But that's the thing when it comes, like I was saying with martial arts, that's the thing that happens is like these are game plans, these are blueprints, these are things. But they're not set in stone. So, like technically, when you throw a jab, you're supposed to, bring your shoulder up, make sure you're tucking your chin. But then you see world champions that wing jabs that are technically, like if you technically analyze it, you're like, that's poor technique.
Yeah.
Poor technique, quote unquote. But they make it work for them. There's these unorthodox fighters where it's like, wow.
And I was on a trip recently this week, and I was talking to a UFC fan, but not a fighting, a technician by nature. And in the conversation, we were just talking through a couple of the strategies that you might see in the fighting. And I had said, when you go to these camps, it's no different than the football team watching the videotape, right? They're going to train for the, say, like 3 most common events that they expect to happen because they can't think about it in the match. You have to be able to react to it. The moment you're thinking, you're already slower than you would be if you can just react. And then, like today, the real top level professionals could make some adjustments during the match with the right coaching.
Right.
But that is something that sounds so simple. That is very high level work.
Oh yeah.
Because like you said, you have to change your whole game.
You have to change your whole game. I mean, your game plan goes out the window sometimes, and then
Yep.
you're like, oh God, what do I have to fall back on? What's your other skill sets? What do you, you know?
What else
Game
you good at?
plans don't always go, you know, according to plan. I guess.
Yeah,
Best way to
that's
say
the way
it.
you can put it.
Plan
So
B
yeah,
and
so
C.
that was an amazing fight.
Sometimes
It
the
was a lot of
Croc
fun.
just doesn't fit.
We have a whole series of catchfadses.
Yes, we are. We already have. You can't
Uh,
judge
kick-
until you
You
walk.
walk on
mile
a
in a
1,000
man's
miles in another
Crocs.
man's Crocs,
Yes,
And then,
or a woman, or whatever.
like that.
But
And we say
yeah.
walking in Crocs.
You know. Speaking of the UFC fights, as we're watching them, what annoys me is they have to walk out in you know, the gear.
Mhm.
And
Yeah,
it's
they
it's-
can't have Crocs.
They can't have Crocs. They have to wear the
The official
Under
sponsor,
Armour's.
Venom.
Well, Venom's a sponsor, but the shoes they walk out in are Dwayne the Rock Johnson's
Oh, the Project Rock.
the
Under
Project
Armour.
Rock Under
Project
Armour
Rocks,
shoes.
Yeah.
So they have to walk out in the Project Rock shoes.
And it was so funny because when that was announced and you saw the first couple of fighters, is it me or did they seem very unhappy?
They
about
didn't like
that?
it. No, a lot of
Like,
fighters
I
commented
don't
they didn't like it.
really
If I were a UFC fighter, I'd be walking out in Crocs. Hands
Oh, yeah.
down. That would be
Every
my
fight.
walk to the ring.
On
Because
your
they
hands.
wear slides a lot of the time anyway.
on your hands, 'cause you can't wear them.
Hey! Walks out waving
Unless
Crocs.
I mean,
Rock Crocs.
if it
Rock
was like
Crocs.
it was like the old days would let you wear whatever you wanted,
Yep.
I'd be walking out in Crocs because they all walk out in slides anyway. Crocs are better. Or some of them walk out in sneakers and they have to
And
take
it's,
the sneakers
it's a shame.
off.
I don't understand the monetary portion of the UFC, so I'm not going to pretend to understand it at all. Good luck to all of them as they're negotiating their contracts. But it is a shame that they can't get sponsors for themselves to make additional income.
You
know.
it's
They
tough.
can. They just
Sorta-
can't wear it at UFC
yeah, you can't
events.
promote it.
Yeah, but that's
So
your
you can
biggest
do it on your own
opportunity to
social media.
advertise it,
Well, that was a
right?
big problem when
Yeah.
they first started with Reebok many years ago.
Yeah.
Was a lot of fighters like, whoa, you're
Yeah, it's a
cutting.
big income for me.
Well, because they would be like, hey, you could buy my walkout shirt. Or like Uriah Faber had a whole clothing company where you can like, you wear.
Yeah. Uriah Faber, who runs Team Alpha Male. Alpha Male was originally a clothing company.
Yeah, he had a
Oh, I did
whole
not know
clothing
that.
line.
Yeah,
He
I
had a
didn't
whole
know that.
Originally
clothing
his
line.
clothing line. Yeah, that was in his book.
Oh,
Yeah,
that
good
is so
book.
cool.
Good book.
It was
Yeah.
a good book. Yeah,
I did not know that at all. See?
Yeah,
I'll
what
listen
was
to
it? It
something
was
now.
Laws of the
it's something about a
Laws
passion.
of the Ring.
I know that the book, the whole book was about finding your passion.
It's a self help book.
Yeah.
So
it's
I
about finding
got
your
it.
passion and
Yeah.
his life story. Like he tells his life story, and through his life story, he's saying how he found his passion for fighting, and the steps that you can take
And-
to find your passion.
Right, and to
That's
have
cool.
a successful life. It's a self help book, and I got it years ago because
He
I
had a lot
love
of good
Uriah
stories in
Faber.
there.
So then I loaned him to read, which I try not to loan out books. Steve's one of the few people
I
that actually
give
gave me
books
back my
back.
book.
When you loan them
Who,
to me.
without giving me a name, but how long ago did you give a book out and then you didn't get it back?
Oh, here we
Oh my
go.
God, I have a
Go for
list.
it.
You want a list?
Really?
I have.
He's
There's
told
at
me all
least
about it.
there's at least 5 or 6 books I've owned that I've never seen again, and I've given to people and never get them back.
And these people are still in your life?
No, some of them aren't. Some of them aren't. Some of them are.
Which means he's never seen these books ever again.
There's a book called American Shaolin. So if you're a
Okay.
martial artist, great book. It's about a guy that goes literally trained at the Shaolin Temple, like for real.
I need to get that book. That's
Matt
a good
Pulley.
book.
The guy's name is Matt Pulley.
I want to get
He
that book.
also wrote. He's got 3 books. He wrote American Shaolin, which is a great book about going and training in a Chinese Shaolin temple. Then he wrote what is it called? It's an MMA book. I have it. So what he does is he then trains for a year, I want to say, and then does a heater, like a MMA fight.
Okay.
He trains at Randy Couture's gym, and then so it documents his whole journey, and then he actually does a fight.
Oh, that's awesome.
And then
Nice.
his latest book was which I also own. So the only book I don't own is American Shaolin, which I did own, but I don't have it
you
anymore.
technically own it. It's just not in your possession.
Right, correct. He wrote a Bruce Lee book all about Bruce Lee, and it's probably the most complete like biography of Bruce Lee. So I have it. I haven't read it yet.
Oh, you recently picked it up? Okay.
Yeah, I got it for Christmas. It was on my
Can I borrow it?
Christmas list. When I'm done reading it.
So what are your what are some of your favorite books that you've written, either with just
Well, I've never written a
about
book.
That you know of. He's working.
We
on his
might.
memoirs.
You never
Crocs
know.
and you.
Crocs and you. How Crocs can change your life.
Crocs, kicks.
Let's go
and-
over.
Crocs, kicks, and everything in between.
Yes, exactly.
I'm just curious. Like, what are some of the
The
favorite?
Dave Zaffo story. That could be my biography. Crocs,
That could
kicks,
be
and
one.
everything in between.
There you go.
Ooh. Start
We're
writing that now.
Right.
Yeah, yeah,
You got time to type
I
out.
can make that happen.
Yeah.
absolutely.
Every other Friday.
Well, what are some of your favorite martial artsy books that you've ever read? For both of you
Martial
guys.
artsy books.
Something like it. Doesn't,
American. Well, obviously
I guess
American
maybe not
Shaolin.
exactly. Maybe not exactly martial arts books. It could be like even just books about like developing yourself. As,
Well,
you know,
Oh, like
samurai.
self-help books, like
Sorta
martial
like
art-
that,
So
but-
yeah, so our instructor reads all the time.
Oh God, Master Paul.
He has just
he
a,
reads so many books,
and
it's
it's
awesome.
all self-improvement, self-help, just anything that betters yourself or makes you think. But martial arts books. Let me think. Other than obviously,
Or self-help. It doesn't have to be just martial arts.
well, yeah, obviously I just listed American Shaolin, which I absolutely love. But if you're talking like traditional, you got to read the Book of Five Rings, Miyamoto Musashi,
Ooh,
I don't think I read that
yes.
the greatest samurai that ever lived.
I don't think I read that book, though.
Oh,
Believe me.
really? Never read the Book of Five Rings?
No.
Excellent
I
book.
yeah, would like to read that.
The Book of Five Rings you got to read. If you're a diehard martial artist, you have to read The Art of War by Sun Tzu.
I read that. Yeah.
The Art of
have
War. I read that book. It was interesting to me. It took you take away some good stuff with it.
It's all strategy. I mean, business.
Yeah.
A lot of business end read it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not
Like,
surprising.
what is it? The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People.
Yeah.
Right? That one is a very common one, but good read. It is a good read. You can apply it. In
oh,
many cases.
100%.
One it's a silly and a simple read. Who Moved My Cheese? Have you ever read that one?
No.
I have
No,
multiple
what's that about?
copies that I'll get you to have one so that you can keep that one.
Yeah.
Okay. But it's you'll be done within like 2 hours or less. It's a very easy read, but the concept is around how do you handle change.
That's like
How do you adjust to
okay.
change?
that's like the 4 Agreements. You ever read the 4 Agreements?
No, but we'll have to switch it up. Yeah.
Yeah, the 4 Agreements is a very simple read. I actually did a leadership seminar about the 4 Agreements one time. So it's a very simple read. It's just 4 agreements to live a better life. I don't know if I remember them all, but it's like, I have to read. I have to go over them again. It's like always talk like somebody's listening. So like if I say something about you, I could pretend you could hear me. You
Mhm.
know, like there's just 4 agreements. They're great. You get
Thunder.
Whoa.
Another thunder. That was a loud
See?
one.
Even nature thinks that book
That's
is
a-
great.
Yeah.
These are
That's a good one.
agreeants.
So martial arts book though. So the Book of Five Rings you got to read. Art of War,
Yep,
and
read that
then
one.
the last one, which is awesome, and I always pronounce it wrong. The Hakagori. I always pronounce it wrong.
I'd love to correct you, but I have no idea. How to
Alex
correct
would
you.
know. Alex would know because we both read it. It's
Oh, good.
it's a collection of wisdom from the samurai.
Ooh.
So and it's more like little quotes and stories. So like, straight on down to like, a samurai should always have a toothpick. You always have a toothpick.
Okay.
Or like, they talk about in the rain. You should never run in the rain.
I still want to
You
know
broke
why.
that rule.
I still want to know why I need a toothpick at all times. I
Yeah,
am a toothpick.
I mean, there's some
fan.
weird
Weapon.
stuff in the. So it's a collection of wisdom from the samurais. Oh, I also read the Code of Bushido, a translated version of the Code of Bushido, which I like.
Code of Bushido.
Yeah, I want to say I did not read all of that, but I have had my hands on that book.
Well, these are
but
just,
that was
you
a
know-
return situation, so I actually ended up returning it.
This could be
Right.
something that we do though.
Mm.
We get all these books and we read them.
Swap them over,
Yeah, just
and we can keep track live.
Make book
Who's
reports.
got what? Yeah.
We'll
Yeah.
do book reports on all
That's
the
it.
books. Book club.
Book
We could have a Crocs book club.
Crocs book club.
Crocs
Anybody
book
listen,
club.
There
comment
are
down
some
below.
good
Comment down
reads
below.
out here.
Yeah.
Comment down below what books you would want us to read for the Crocs book club.
I'm a pretty avid reader, so send them my way.
Yeah, comment down below. Give us some book recommendations. First
I'm
person.
not afraid to turn a page. Let's do
Yeah,
it.
first person to comment a book, we will shout you out.
Yeah, for sure. And if you're gonna read a book, you gotta do it in Croc loafers, like Steve's
Yes.
wearing right now. because
Either
I'm-
Croc loafers or wonderful bistro Crocs or Croc slippers. Croc
no,
slippers are
bistro Crocs are not appropriate for reading.
You know, it'd be cool
Well,
too.
Croc slippers are.
Whoever we
Yes.
have as a next guest, if they have a book they prefer, maybe we can get our hands on it and read it before they come.
I think
almost
our
ask them.
next guest was going to
We
be
can read
Alex,
it.
right?
Yeah, Alex is a voracious
He's a
reader
very.
too.
I was going to say.
Alex
He's
is a big
going to,
reader.
of course, pick the 1,000-page one font.
Yes, he
book.
will.
I'll be like, yeah, read that by Tuesday. I'll see you guys Monday night.
Yeah, oh yeah, Alex is a voracious reader too. He's got.
Absolutely.
So we gotta have him on.
We do.
But no, you have to read in loafers are the appropriate, I think.
Are they really?
I think, well, a loafer is like, you go to the library, you put on a loafer. I don't know.
I kind of feel like the slippers are more
Slippers
appropriate 'cause
work,
they're comfy,
too.
You know what I mean? They can just
Bistros are like,
lounge
no.
into it.
Bistros aren't. That's not a.
That's all Nick has, though.
It's literally a bistro croc. It's for like,
That's all Nick has.
slippery surfaces. It's got the bottom soles.
Well, listen,
Well,
I'm a
we know why
former
Nick got them.
restaurant worker, right? So I'm used to keeping
Yeah.
myself from falling. So
Yeah, exactly.
What you got to do.
it kind of
Nick
worked
worked
out.
at a restaurant, you
Yeah.
know? You gotta make sure he doesn't
I've
slip.
become obsessed with so I've become not obsessed with different styles of Crocs, but like obsessed with different styles of Crocs.
So basically, he's obsessed with different styles of Crocs.
Yeah, the clogs are still my favorite, like the traditional clogs. But
Really?
I know,
That's my least
John Farrow. I know you're listening.
John.
He's like, I got the least croc I could find.
the least the
And-
sneakers.
No, actually, he didn't even. I don't even think he knew the sneakers existed. I'm like,
Oh,
I got
interesting.
sneakers, bro. But no, he got the off courts. He ordered a pair of off courts, which I actually just sent out to my family chat. I was like, if anybody's struggling for a last minute birthday idea for me,
Oh, are those the
It
ones you
is.
shared with the off courts? Okay.
a red off courts.
Yeah.
So I like the off courts, but I was like, that's not the least croc you can find.
Because I was gonna say they seem actually pretty crocky.
They-
Like, they're right. They look pretty traditional, except they're a
They
little thinner on the bottom.
they kind of look like Vans, but
no.
combined with the croc. Oh, absolutely.
Really?
Look at him close. I think.
I need to see that picture again. I felt like they look like they don't have the sports mode, obviously, right? They don't have that.
No, they still have the band in the
Oh,
back.
they did.
They just still have the band in the
I
back,
felt
but they're
like
just
it was,
lower.
It looked like
just
this,
they're
but
not.
much
They're not
thinner.
clog shaped.
Have you shown them to me before? I don't know if I've seen these.
I might have. They're not a clog shape. I did because you said you would probably wear them.
Oh yeah, these are the ones that kind of look a little bit more sneaker.
They look like skater shoes.
Yeah,
they look
yeah,
like
yeah,
skater
yeah.
shoes
So-
because they're not
I
clog
must
shaped.
have looked at them too quickly because the picture you showed me was them, but I felt like it still looked like Crocs.
No, well,
Oh, no,
they look
you
like
can tell.
Crocs, and they got gibbet holes on the top.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But they're not clog shaped at all.
Oh,
They're
so you know I didn't
flat
get it
like
over
a.
the top look
They're
or-
like a
yeah.
skater shoe.
Got it.
Yeah,
Okay.
no, that's definitely something that I would wear out and about as
Not
well.
that I would recommend skating in them.
No, well,
I think
you never
if
know.
you're gonna skate, you should skate in something with the grip in the bottom. I think. I don't know.
You never know, man.
I mean, it
You never
depends.
know.
I guess as a skater, and I'm not a skater. Like, would you want less grip on it so that you could maneuver on the skateboard a lot easier?
Skateboarders, comment down below.
Or
let us
would
know.
you like you prefer more grip? You know,
And
from
I have
shoe
this
to
debate.
skateboard?
I have this debate with a friend who's a gym teacher, and he hates Crocs. He's like, I won't let the kids wear them, and you'll bust your ankle up. You guys, dude, like, you know how much I can do in a Croc? You have any idea? I can play basketball in
Do
a
you know
Croc.
how much? Do you
I
know
ain't
how
worried
much
about
I've
blowing
done
my
in a
ankle.
Croc? Do you know how much I've done in a Croc?
We kick
How much
in
physical-
Crocs.
physical
We're kicking
activity.
in 'em.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I'm like, you could totally look. Just because kids got weak ankles, they can't wear the shoes.
We literally chuck in Crocs with Chuck Crocs. I mean, we do it all.
Yeah, well, I subscribe to the more like. There's a school of thought these days where like less support on the foot is better because it teaches you to naturally engage all those muscles. It teaches you to naturally. So like, I mean, as martial artists, we're barefoot like
90%.
90% of the time. We run barefoot.
I'm
We do
just used to
drills
it.
barefoot. I don't know a single martial artist who hasn't run across a mat or done like shuttle runs. We used to
Yep.
call them suicides. Shuttle runs back and forth.
I'm
Dude,
just
you were
used
doing
to it.
tons of things where you could twist your ankle up.
Yep.
And I can't tell you the last time I saw someone actually roll their ankle on the mat.
That's what I'm saying.
Very rarely.
You'd be
I'm-
surprised. You'd be
I've seen them roll
surprised.
ankles, but
Yeah, but that's usually
really rare.
standing still and like turning. It's not from an active movement.
You'd be totally surprised what you can do in Crocs. I think. You'd be surprised what you can do in a lot of different. So, one time, we did a race. So we do these Spartan races.
yes.
So we decided to challenge. We went to Killington, Vermont, one of the hardest races you can do
the hardest race on the East Coast.
on the East Coast.
I'm gonna say it,
Yeah. So
and we did it.
Steve was wearing
Oh,
a
this
shoe that was not a Croc.
How have we never told the story before?
I don't know how we haven't told this
I
story
haven't heard
before.
this
Told the
one.
story before.
You haven't heard this story? So
Can I tell? Oh, yeah, you can say your point of view.
no. Yeah, I'll let you. So let's just say he was not wearing a Croc.
And it did not go well.
He was wearing a different sneaker. Let's call them B-Box.
They rhyme with B-Box.
So, no suing.
Nope.
Could be anything.
I don't think
Could
they'll
be anything.
care. I don't think they'll care.
Rhymes with B-box.
Continue.
So, well, I can let you go into the details
Oh,
of this
okay.
non-Croc encounter.
So here we go. I am wearing the wonderful B-box shoes that were meant for. They are meant for these types of
They're
races.
literally designed for Spartan races.
No,
Yep.
wait. You mean advertised for Spartan Race?
No.
Apparently.
Sold at
This
Spartan Races
Spartan-
with the Spartan
Well,
Race logo on
Let me
the
hear
shoe.
what you say, and then I'll let you know if it's a marketing ploy or a design failure or both. Go.
So here we go. We start the race and we're going, and I have done, I'll say this before I tell the rest of the story. I have at this point had done a few races in these shoes already. So they were worn in. So
For perspective, this is a triple. So it's Killington, Vermont, triple black diamond ski slope mountains.
triple black diamond
and
ski
you're
slope.
talking a 15-mile race.
Yes.
With obstacles. Got it.
With
Correct.
obstacles in it. Yep. So just to
You really
clarify,
put these things to the test.
they were getting put to the test and they failed miserably.
Well, they didn't really
So-
get put to the test.
So here's what happened. We were into mile 2. I think we were
Two.
into mile 2 out
2
of
with
this
15.
mile
Okay.
race. And I hear someone behind me say, "Hey man, the sole of your shoe's starting to come off."
The rubber part.
And
the
I
whole
looked
rubber
down,
bottom.
and surely so, starting at the heel of my shoe, the rubber part, the rubber bottom of the shoe was starting to come off.
Oh, yeah.
And I was thinking, oh, it's not that bad. It should be fine. 1 mile later, the entire bottom of that shoe came off.
Oh, yeah. Gone.
The entire bottom.
You had the custom Croc build, which is made from
Crosslight.
You were missing
I was missing the Crocs, man.
the Crosslight safety material that
Yeah,
would have
man.
Well,
lasted.
This
and
gets
also
better,
because
though. This story gets better.
Crocs are all
better
one.
than on my shoes.
Crocs
Don.
are all one.
Yes, it does.
But if you look at your Croc, it's all one unit minus the
Yep.
the sport strap.
Yep.
Otherwise, it's all one unit. Where sneakers are usually like the rubber sole and then they're sewed
cloth
or
top,
glued
yeah.
onto the cloth
So
top.
this completely came apart. So this is shoe, the one I have now effectively down to one shoe.
Mhm.
The other just had a piece of cloth just like laid over my foot.
Like a moccasin.
So yeah, it was like a moccasin. Alex was there. He was calling me moccasin. So we're going. And I look down, and first of all, just for perspective, here I am jogging kind of like weird gait because already one shoe is a different height than the other one. And I was holding the sole of the other shoe. I was like, I'm not letting this go. Like, this,
Please tell me
We-
someone said that man's got soul.
No. Well,
there was a
so,
bunch of sole
so
jokes.
we met a group of 3 girls, right? Three women.
3 women that were
So,
very, very nice.
We
awesome.
ended up becoming a team just on the course. We met them. We're actually still friends with them on Facebook.
Yeah.
And I see one of them a lot at Spartan races, and we always like, oh, actually, the last one I did, you weren't at.
I wasn't.
And literally, her first question is, "Where's Soulless Steve?" Because we started to call him Soulless Steve.
Say, oh, he's leaving his soul on the mountain.
B-box.
So-
this
graceful.
story it gets even.
So wait,
yeah. Say it again.
B-box. So
So
graceful.
graceful.
So graceful. So
So
graceful.
graceful.
So here we go. I'm carrying the sole of my one shoe. I was like, all right, I can do this with one shoe. And I look down. Oh, there goes the other one. The other one's starting to come off too.
Oh yeah.
Oh, no.
So I'm going. And I'm like, you know what? Maybe we could fix this. I say today, we can fix this.
We
go,
start-
Does anybody have duct
We
tape?
start asking people.
Does anybody have duct tape? And a woman goes, oh, me, I got some duct tape. She comes over, looks down at my shoes. Oh, dude, you're screwed. And then
Yes.
walks away.
Only she didn't say
Wow.
screw.
Only she didn't say screwed.
She
did a
used
different word.
other
Wow.
profanity,
We're being
kid
And
friendly.
that's
Kid-
already
kid-friendly.
not kid friendly.
Yeah.
So I can't even imagine worse than that.
Ah, yeah, no.
She just, just walked off. And we're looking at like, what? So
Have you ever
there
seen the
is-
Christmas?
Say
Have,
yowzers?
have you ever seen the Christmas Story?
Got it.
So there
There
is
you go.
there
Oh,
is
my
a
goodness.
point of the
The
Killington
bonus scene?
There is a section of the Killington Spartan Race that has a swim.
It's a swim.
So I have that sole. I left it with the rest of my stuff. We took our packs off. I left the sole of my shoe with my stuff, right? So I'm like, I'm just gonna do it. At least this is part. I don't have to be like stepping on like rocks and stuff like that. So I'm swimming through the water, and we go through this one hard obstacle. This is like the hardest obstacle I've ever tried. You have to rope climb out of the water up to a set of
There's
smaller
a bridge.
ropes.
So there's a bridge that runs
up
over
to a
the
set of
water.
smaller ropes where you have to literally like monkey Tarzan swing across
all
these
up
ropes.
So what it is so
and
what it
they're all
is
soaking wet.
there's a rope ladder out of the water. So you swim
Yep.
out to this bridge.
You climb
a
up out of
rope
the water,
ladder, which is moving and wet.
and you're monkey
then there's
swinging
little cuts of rope
through across
with a knot at
underneath
the
the
bottom,
bridge
and you
Yep.
gotta swing across
to the bell. Right, you have to hit the bell. I mean, like I still haven't been able to hit this obstacle yet.
Yeah,
to
it's a
this
hard
day.
one.
But I'm going. So miss the bell. We do the rest of the swim. We get to the end. I get out of the water. Oh, the second soul is gone.
God.
Gone.
Soulless.
Now,
In
mind
the
you,
lake.
that's like mile
In the lake.
4.
More 4
So
or
when
5.
do you stop? So credit where credit's due. You finished the race.
Oh,
I
we
was
did the
getting
whole
to that
thing.
right
So,
now.
yeah.
I grabbed the sole of my shoe that I still had. I kept that thing. I still have it to this day.
Mhm.
I found myself a stick, a walking stick. Still have that walking stick to this day.
We did
And I completed this race essentially barefoot
like Moses.
with moccasins. I was marching my
We
way
had
through.
the stick to divide.
We had a
the
Yep.
water.
stick, and now
help
there's
me
a
up.
thing on
Go
this
ahead.
race called a death march. That's what they call it.
Aptly
It's
named.
basically a mile straight up a triple black diamond ski slope. It never ends. You're like, this is just not going to end. But here's the worst part: once you get to the top and you do a little bit, then you have to go down, and it is straight
The triple
down,
black diamond. ski
straight
slope.
down a triple black diamond.
So
he's
any of you
sticking his
skiers
stick
out
in,
there-
and it's all rock because there's
Mhm.
no snow at this point.
Yep.
So it's just rocks and gravel.
Wow.
So we did the whole race barefoot.
I did. And so there were moments, man, doing the downhill, I would not have been able to do the downhill if it wasn't for that walking stick.
He still has it. It was in the trunk of his
straight
car
down.
for like years.
I still have it.
I'll
I
tell
still
you,
have it.
my friend is he collects walking sticks at this point because the
Mhm.
amount of
This was
hiking
just a
he's doing.
twig that we found, like
No, it
a
was just a
branch
stick.
of a
It was
tree.
a branch
that
of
we
a tree
found.
that had fallen off, and I was using it.
Imagine how your feet looked after that.
Oh my god, man, they were so dead.
So we called him Soulless Steve.
I was like,
So-
I'm not.
Aw.
I was saying to them, like, I'm finishing the race. Like, I'm
Yes.
sorry, guys. Like, I'm gonna have to slow you guys down because I got to keep going.
You know, to be honest, I'm
we kept
surprised-
it. We kept all
You kept
together.
with
when the
me. Yeah,
girl
you
with
didn't-
the
you didn't leave me behind.
duct tape basically gave up on your chances.
Well, because no,
I'm
but
surprised she does not have enough.
no. To backtrack, we did duct tape it once.
Raquel, one of the women that was traveling with us,
Right.
she had a little bit of duct tape,
Right,
not
and
a
that
lot.
didn't work.
and that did not stay on.
So
Okay.
then
'Cause
The
I'm
other-
thinking
the
you
other
should
woman that we're
almost have
talking about had a
wrapped
whole
the duct tape
roll.
around your feet.
Oh no, she did. She
Yeah.
had like a whole roll of duct tape with her. This other
and
woman.
it wasn't going anywhere. So,
Okay.
No.
but it was pretty. We finished the race, and we've done Killington a bunch of times
We
since then.
finished the race. Oh my
Um,
God. We should. I mean, this is on the Team Ohana Spartan Race Instagram. We have an Instagram for our Spartan Race team at the Team Ohana.
Yeah.
You should go check it out. And if you scroll back, a couple years ago.
Another Instagram you can follow.
Another Instagram you can follow. If you scroll back a couple of years ago, you'll see like the Killington race where I'm jumping over the fire
Yeah.
with essentially no
I actually
shoes
no.
on.
I have a
And I'm
picture.
holding my
Same
walking
race.
stick with me.
I have
Oh,
a
I think I
picture
saw
of
that.
I have a picture of you
holding
holding
the soul.
and
Uh-huh.
being barefoot
Yep.
because I tweeted it to Reebok on Twitter
Uh-oh.
back when I still used
B-Box.
Twitter.
We treated it to
B-Box.
B-Box.
I
The
tweeted.
only
was
reason
a
you would have done it to the
B-box.
first
I
company,
tweeted to
B-box.
I tweeted at B-Box
Yes.
on Twitter. No response. I sent the picture.
I sent message to I think it was the
I
Was it
think
their
your
Facebook?
only chance of having, let's say, won a discussion with that is if they were brand new.
they
were not.
they
in-
were pretty new
If
though.
There was
you
two
went
races.
in-
They
Yeah,
had
but
two-
if
two
you went
races.
in
Who
and
races?
said,
Nothing,
I've
bro.
never
Nothing.
used these things, this happened.
Bro.
But for you to go in it, but
They didn't
these
care.
are
Nobody
two
responded.
Spartan level races,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
it's not normal use, even though they are advertised. So hats off to Bebop's marketing team. Way to go, guys! Way to make that partnership with.
and now they're
Spartan.
not partners with Spartan anymore.
You wonder
So
why.
just-
I guarantee you can't be the only
I can't imagine
person.
why.
So the question is, how would Crocs fare?
Well,
We're gonna find out.
hint, hint, wink, wink. We
I would definitely
might be
test it on a
endeavoring to find
sprint
out.
first.
We're
not
only going to do a sprint.
yeah.
Killington.
Listen. Let's just let the cat out of the bag. We are planning on doing a Spartan race in Crocs and filming the thing and recording
Oh,
and making
yeah.
the video. However, I will say this: we are not we're not imbeciles. So
No.
we're going to just do a sprint, and the sprint is the shortest length. It's just a 5K, three and a half miles.
I honestly think the
Not
Crocs are going to hold
15.
up pretty. I honestly think they're going to hold up pretty good.
Yeah.
I mean, I run in
Well, especially
essentially
because-
a barefoot shoe, a minimal profile shoe. Anyway, I think the Crocs are going to hold up pretty good.
Well, especially because they literally have Crocs that are
When are-
advertised as
they
hikers.
have Crocs hikers.
They have hiker Crocs.
So you
have like the tread on the bottom and the grip in the bottom.
So Nick's been fascinated with all the different varieties of Crocs.
Yes,
but they
there's
make
hiker
they
Crocs.
make a classic hiker.
Mm-hmm.
So we were planning on trying to do
Use those.
use
as
those
a-
in a
yeah.
classic hiker.
Mhm.
When is the sprint that you were thinking about doing this?
We
Probably
haven't-
gonna do
we
it
haven't
either
looked-
later on
we-
this year
yeah.
or next year is what we're going to do.
Is there an option where I can come and just video? Like I can do the run portion and not the penalties or the obstacles and just
I
video? Would they
mean,
let
not
me do that?
really.
well, I mean,
you
if
could
you
do the
can-
open heat and just
I would
skip
say
everything.
If you come with us
But would I
as
be able
part
to
of
be
the
next
race,
to everything and still?
well, what's what I'm saying?
Well, you'd
like,
be a
if
racer.
If you're in
you'd have
the
to you'd have to
race,
register and
Yeah.
purchase a
Trust me.
registration.
if we're wearing those Crocs, we ain't going at a fast pace. You would probably be able to keep up
Well,
with
that's
us.
my thought.
What you talking about? We're running it.
We're not running it.
Well, my
We're not
thought
running it.
was I would skip the obstacles, hopefully not get the penalties of the.
Listen, if
million
any,
No,
if
in an
any
open heat, they-
volunteer,
in an
yeah,
open
that
heat, they don't
comes
really
up,
enforce
then
anything.
but I could be near.
You could just be filming us.
The
Yeah.
You'd be a racer.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, but just
You'd
go
be
around
in there in the
obstacles.
race. You don't
Yeah,
have to do the
you'd be in
obstacles.
the race. You compete in an open heat. So in the open heats, they're not really that strict.
They're not that strict because
Okay.
we're not
I mean,
competitive.
I just
If you're in a competitive or an age group, like any competitive heat, then yes, they're
yeah,
gonna
'cause then
watch
you're
you.
messing with the
Right.
competition.
Yes.
Yeah.
But if you're just open heats, are just like, hey, whatever, man.
But
it's an open
would we
heat.
leave at the same time? Like,
Yes.
so that I
Yeah,
could
yeah.
still
Absolutely.
see what you guys are doing. Oh, that might be a
Absolutely.
thought. Then I might have to start running again just to keep up for 3 miles.
Well, we wouldn't. Like I said, we really would not be going that fast.
But there's such a variety of.
I'd have to
of
start running
So many
again.
different Crocs.
There's such a
So many
variety
different
of
Crocs.
rocks out there.
That's cool.
I've
I
become
definitely think
quite
we spend
adept
A
at-
full episode going over the different brands. I mean, the different styles. Because just having a conversation with you, you'll fly through 3, 4, 5
What's
different
funny is
styles.
I've gotten.
Like, what are these?
I can't.
have to bring a couple
From the
of
days
out.
of me
We'll talk
hating
to 'em.
Crocs to
No.
like I know a lot about them now. As far as like maybe not as much as like Michaela when she was giving us all the trivia.
I know, right? She gave us all those facts. Now we know
But you
more.
got to have
But-
7 different styles here.
I
we
know.
can talk about.
Oh, I have several styles, and I can
Yeah.
identify different styles now, which is pretty funny. Like when I see them walking by, I know which styles are like. Oh, that's that. That's this. That's that. Because I'm on the app all the time.
And we have an untapped market in Ohio, by the way.
Much to
I
my
was
wife's chagrin.
I was not pleased when I was out in Columbus this week and noticed nobody had Crocs on at all.
If you're
Well,
watching
where
from
were you?
Ohio,
Well,
go buy
one
yourself
was like
some
a
Crocs.
business center, and I got to tell you something. I was a little surprised because the business center was treated almost like a fintech or a tech company where everybody was dressing in like jeans and a button down. That's a great opportunity to wear Crocs.
Yeah.
Right. But I
Certain
feel like-
types of Crocs.
I
like
feel
what you
like-
have on now.
I feel like some
Yeah.
people don't understand that they make different varieties.
That's why I just said
and
open
different-
market there. We have a big
There you go.
opportunity.
Yeah, you got to let them know, baby. Let
Yeah,
them know.
man.
Yeah, that's so cool.
All right, guys. Well, this was a wonderful conversation, and we had a good roller coaster of a ride. I have no idea what title I'm going to give this episode. We talked about UFC.
We're
we
gonna call
talked
this the randomness
about
of.
the randomness.
And what's the name of your book?
Oh yeah, what's the name of your book?
Oh,
What did you say your name?
what
of your
was it? Was
Kicks the
Kicks,
Crocs.
Crocs, and everything in
book?
between.
No, it was
That's
Crocs.
It was
Kicks,
Crocs, Kicks,
and
and
everything, in between.
The Dave Zappo story.
Dave Zappa story. There's our title for
There's
this
your
podcast.
Oh,
There's
yeah,
our title for this
the
podcast.
fury
right
of
there.
my wife.
We are testing the
I s-
titles out for your
So-
book.
yeah.
So this is how bad I've got. One of my best buddies is a surgeon out in where does he live now? He lives in New York. No, Connecticut now. Connecticut, whatever.
It's nearby.
They put up a picture of his daughter, like as a infant daughter.
Mm.
Not infant anymore. She's like 1, 2, 1.
We get it. It's a baby.
Baby. First day of her new daycare. And I responded to the story, Instagram story, and I sent back, adorable.
If
Gotta do
she's
something
right.
about those shoes, though.
If she was
You
wearing
gotta be in
Crocs.
Crocs.
Okay.
She said, we might have to try out the Crocs thing was the
Yeah,
response.
come on.
And I said, check your mailbox later, And then
no way.
so I messaged him today and I was like, hey, quick question. It has nothing to do with Crocs. What size shoe does your daughter wear?
Man, that's another person that Dave is going to buy Crocs for, man.
Yeah, at least the little ones aren't like the little kid Crocs.
They're not that expensive.
Nah.
As you know now.
Honestly, when people are like, oh, Crocs are a little bit expensive. I'm like, ever go price out how much like
They cost
shoes
about
cost,
the same
man?
amount that any other average
You
shoe
figure you
costs.
can get them as low as mid-30s and as high as 100. So obviously,
Yeah, but like
most
go
of them
buy
average
yourself
in
a
the 50s.
go buy yourself a pair of Nikes.
Yeah, no.
same price, if not more.
No, usually more.
And
not
just
more, yeah.
like any other shoe, shop around. I'm going to keep saying this: Crocs will price match.
Yeah.
So shop around, find Crocs, legitimate Crocs, bring it to the store, show them the picture and the proof that it's that day active website, and they'll match it.
And if you have a profile, like I have a profile in the app, they know it's my birthday coming up, and they sent me a little $15 off for my
Yes,
birthday.
they
$15?
do.
$15 off for my birthday, so I'm
So
gonna order
next-
something.
Nice.
Next podcast, we will be talking all about the birthday of soon-to-be 40-year-old Dave Zaffos.
Only I discovered Crocs earlier in life.
Yeah, man.
Never too late.
That's going to be our next episode, so stay tuned for that. Comment down below what you would get Master Dave for his 40th birthday.
Also, don't forget the books.
Don't forget about the books. Comment down below what books you guys want us to check out. If you've got any cool books you'd like us to read, let's not insult our intelligence. All right, let's keep away from children's books. Okay, we're all adults.
Unless
There's
it's a
some-
really good
There's some good
child.
children's books, man. Don't insult the children's books.
No,
What about Jocko Willing's
Warrior
Way
Way
of the Warrior Kid.
The Warrior
I
Kid.
consider
And he's got
that
3
a
of
book
those.
for all
Yeah,
ages.
man.
At least
those
3.
books for all
Hey,
ages, by
hey,
the way.
the Diary of the Wimpy Kid books are good.
I hate those books. Anyways.
What?
So, yep.
Dogman.
We'll talk about that later. I've seen Dogman. I've never read Dogman, though. Is it good?
Oh, Luke has got loads of them if you want.
I'm sure he does.
Yeah, and they're good. They're good. They're a good graphic novel setup.
Well, anyways.
Oh, I just remembered the Matt Polly book is Tapped Out.
We're just going
Got
to
it.
keep going.
There it is.
We're just gonna
Tapped
keep going.
Out.
What is it
That's what
called?
it's called. Tapped Out.
What was the book?
The Matt Polly book where
And
he does
also
the,
the exit
where
to
he does,
this
he does the cage
podcast.
fighting.
We were
It's
tapping
called
out
Tapped Out.
of this podcast.
Tapping out of this podcast. Yeah.
All right, Alex, you're our next guest. Let's
Alex,
go.
Master
Let's
Alex,
go.
next guest.
And he could tell us about his run
Mhm.
with no socks.
Oh, God. Yeah, that's true. Alex has his
Oh,
own
man.
Spartan Race stories. Anyways, if you guys haven't already, make sure you follow us on Instagram and on TikTok at Kickin in Crocs, KICKIN.in.Crocs, CROCS. Subscribe on YouTube to watch the video versions of this podcast. That way you get to see our wonderful, lovely, somewhat ugly faces. Just so that you know you
Speak
can
for
actually
yourself.
Yeah, I
see
was like
us,
that
you know?
side maybe.
Yeah, you know. And then make sure you guys do those comments. Comments those books. Comments we're going to get Master Dave for his 40th birthday. Comment just your favorite emoji. Just give us some comments because it helps us out. You know, it gives us more exposure.
Comment.
And
more
if you're
engagement
listening
in
to
the
us on
algorithm.
any of the podcasts, 5 stars, 5 stars,
5-star
5 stars.
5-star reviews. And yeah, make sure you guys submit your own photos. So you guys throwing kicks and Crocs or any
Let's
other type of
go.
martial art in Crocs. Could be jiu-jitsu, could be wrestling, could be boxing. We don't care. As long as you're in Crocs,
Yes.
you can send it to us. We can post it for you guys. We'll feature you guys on the Instagram. And that's about all we got for tonight. Thank you guys for hanging with us. I've been Steve.
Always Dave.
Still Nick.
And you stay kicking, Internet.
Excellent show.
Shabadoo.
Shabadoo.